The town of Plainville. Established in 1721 at the geographical center of Connecticut.
Okay. Everybody all set? Down here, all set? Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our town council meeting. Today is Tuesday, February 19th, 2019, 7 p.m. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, and Councilman Cox will lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on. We do not have a presentation or a public hearing this evening, so I will ask for approval of the minutes of the previous meeting.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
motion to approve the minutes of February 4th, 2019, regular meeting.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any discussion or corrections to these minutes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Announcements or reports. Does anybody have any announcements or reports to make tonight?
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Last week, as liaison, I attended the Conservation Committee meeting. The new member, Michael DeRosier, was introduced. He also volunteered to be the Conservation Commission person on the 150th committee. Went over plans for river cleanups, both Aquatic and the Quinnipiac. Art Marino was there and gave an update on Tomaso Nature Park. And they also discussed several larger issues that they've been following, including the fracking waste issue, which is again the subject of proposed legislation at the state level. And Committee on Aging, unfortunately, I couldn't attend because of a prior commitment. And on Tuesday night, the Library Trustees meeting was canceled due to weather, so I'm looking forward to the March meeting.
Thank you. Does anybody else have any announcements or reports to make tonight? Okay. Hearing none, we'll move on to appointments and resignations. Do we have any appointments or reappointments to make tonight?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
motion to appoint to the Inland Wetlands Commission for a term January 7th, 2019 to January 7th, 2021, Michael Goulet of Pigney Avenue and Patricia LeBeau of East Broad Street.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Motion to appoint to the Inland Wetlands Commission, one appointment for an alternate member for the term of January 7th, 2019 to January 7th, 2021, Trudy Kajanka, 9 Tomlinson Avenue.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
motion to, for the Recycling and Solid Waste Commission, to appointments for regular members, Richard Ireland of East Maple Street and Wayne Fish, also of Maple Street, for a term 2/1/19 to 2/1/21.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
motion for the Strong Fund Committee, 2 appointments for new term 7/1/18 to 7/1/19, Josephine Forcella of House Street and Bruce Morris of Farmstead Lane.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any comment on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Are there any other appointments tonight?
Madam Chair?
Yes.
I would like to make a motion to appoint John Kisluck from Forestville Avenue as an additional member of the 150th Anniversary Celebration Committee.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Are there any other appointments or reappointments this evening? Okay, thank you for that. Moving on, Board of Education Liaison, Chair Hardy, do you have a report for us?
I do.
Thank you.
Deb Hardy, 17 Maria Road. Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Puglisi. Today, a report. I'm sure that all of you know by now that the Board of Education has passed their budget at a 3.0% for an increase of $1,119,727. Dr. Brummett will be meeting with Representative Pettit and Senator Martin on February 26th at 9:30 in room 302 to discuss the current legislative proposals that impact our education. Dr. Pettit also feels that our regionalization should be a voluntary and not a forced issue for us, and the Board of Ed agrees with that as well. Nobody should be forced to do anything. And a shout out to the Wheeler School, who sent letters to the Rocky Hill VA thanking them for their services and their sacrifices on Valentine's Day. Also, I want to report that Dr. Brummett, Nicole, and myself attended a CAPS-sponsored workshop entitled Developing Partnerships. That was held on February 7th. The superintendents grouped together, the board chairs and the vice chairs grouped together, and the discussion revolved around 2 questions. From your perspective, what are the greatest challenges in your district? And from a Board of Ed chair's position, what do you need from the superintendent to be more successful? We then had open discussion on these questions, and we also discussed the importance of board norms, which include, do we have a vision for our board? Is there a district mission statement for the board? And do we have board goals? It was a very interesting meeting, and there will be a final session on April 11th. Maureen, Nicole, and myself concluded with knowing we do need improvements, but are fortunate to have a good relationship, and we also feel we do provide our children with a good education to the best of our ability. And that's the end of my report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Report of the Town Manager, Mr. Lee, your turn.
Thank you. I've got just a couple of short items. The first is a library update. Library Director Trish Tomlinson is here this evening to update the Town Council on library activities. Mrs. Tomlinson was appointed as Library Director approximately 9 months ago. With the permission, I'd like to ask her to step up and do an update.
Thank you for having me here tonight.
Welcome.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you for coming.
Absolutely. Mr. Lee asked me to come here this evening because I have started what I refer to as the Library Roadshow around town. I'm really kind of looking to get out into the community and show people exactly what we have, not only in the library, but also what we offer online on our website, 24/7, 365. I will go through those quickly. I started with the Senior Center last week and gave them a quick overview of our website offerings, and they were floored. So I figured I would just do a quick run through with you as well. Before I do so, does anyone have any questions for me? Okay, great.
Yeah.
This is our website, and I'm going under the button eBooks and More. And you will see here we have a host of resources. Overdrive and Hoopla are the 2 main resources for downloading ebooks and audiobooks. You can also download magazines, both current and back issues, and keep them forever. Those don't expire. You can also download movies, television shows, and music. Ancestry.com. You can do online genealogy research. You can do it in the library building. You unfortunately can't access that outside the building. It's prohibitively expensive. But we have had a great response to this, and many people have been using it. If you want to learn a foreign language online, we have that database as well, Mango. My daughter is in 6th grade, and she's taking beginner's Mandarin Chinese. Now, obviously, I don't know how to tutor her in that unless I have Mango. So I've been learning Mandarin Chinese along with her. Not well, I might add. This is outdated and is going away, so we're going to ignore that one for now. This is our newest and most exciting addition, which I think is going to be very relevant to a lot of people in town, both in town government and in town businesses. It's called lynda.com, and it is over 4,500 online courses you can take, and you can even get certification for things. You can learn everything from Microsoft Excel to how to play the guitar, to how to market a small business. Pretty much sky's the limit, and they're adding new courses every day. And these are highly curated courses. It's not just something you would go on YouTube and find. And they're all for free for anybody in Plainville who wants to use them and has a library card. And you can do that on your own time. At home, again, you can do it on nights, weekends, holidays, whenever you want. The last one has also been, it's been a hidden gem, and once I've brought attention to it, a lot of people have been very excited about it. Job Now. This offers live one-on-one career coaching, interview practice, and live resume help. If you send in your resume to somebody here in 24 hours, they're going to come back to you with revised suggestions, edits, highlights. And they can help you chart a career course. They have a lot of online resources for job interviews, a lab, templates. I'm going to go up here for 1 second. Adult learners. You can get a lot of practice tests for things like the GED, the U.S. citizenship test, how to write a resume, all sorts of things. And again, this is all free to anybody in Plainville who has a library card. And that is for now what we have online. But I am hoping to meet with the Chamber of Commerce next month. They invited me to lunch, or the Rotary Club, I'm sorry. But I'd like to bring it to the Chamber of Commerce. We'd like to do a lot more in the community, one-on-one appointments with people. Say we have a little table at the Y and say, do you have a library card? We can sign people up right then and there. We can show them all this, what we have available, and get them started right away. And also, whenever anybody wants to have some one-on-one time with one of our librarians, they can always call and make an appointment. And just today, I walked a gentleman through all the different sections of our library, as well as all the different sections of our website. And he didn't know about either of them until last week, when I was at, not last week, last month, when I was at the senior center. So, is there any other questions for me?
I think it's fascinating what can be accomplished online through the library, as when I remember libraries being large buildings with paper things and microfilm. So it's really a gold mine of information that you can do from your home. Of course, if you don't have access to, a computer or a device, they can certainly come into the library. But I do have a question.
Yes.
So if you wanted to go in and use some of these applications or resources, and you don't have your library card, or you don't know where it is, how can you do that? Do you have to go back and get a number? Or
You would have to get a library card before using these resources, and that's easy enough. Either just come in the library, we can sign you up, you get a card right then and there. If I happen to meet you out in the community, again, if I have my scanner and my barcode scanner, I can hand you one right there as well. And they usually take about 24 hours to update, so you get access to all of these things and our website. So it's just useful to have a library card and have it in your back pocket for whenever you want to go on and use these things.
So a library card, you cannot apply for one online, is that correct? You'd have to actually come into the library and physically do it there?
Right now, yes. However, I want to change that in terms of working with my staff. Some libraries have where you fill out an application online, but then we would have to mail you your library card because we do need that address verification.
Okay, thank you.
There are ways.
Yep. Are there any other questions for Trish with our library services?
Mr. Lee, did I cover everything you'd like?
Anything about your impressions of the library, or anything about some of the programs on youth services or something?
Yes, our youth services, we recently got online registration for programs. And in the fall, we opened up registration at 10 a.m. on a Monday. And all programs for the whole fall were registered within 20 minutes. People come from other towns to come to our children's programs. They're that high quality, and the department there is so well trained and well run by Erica Bajrami. I don't know if you've met her. If you haven't, please come in and meet her. Really dedicated staff, and they do a lot of unusual things, and they really stretch their dollar. They can do a lot with a little. I've been very impressed since I've been on board with them. Right now they are done planning their spring programs, and that brochure is coming out any day now. And they're done planning their summer reading program as well. So we'll be hearing about those soon. We are also stepping up our efforts with adult programs as well. So if you have anything that you'd like to see at the library that we don't have, we can try and make that happen for you.
Trish, and how many visitors do we get in our library throughout the course of a year? Do you keep statistics on the visitors?
We do. I have it on my computer, but I don't have.
That's fine, just curious as
Yeah, we
to
keep-
what our,
We keep monthly statistics on how many visitors come through the door. We can even break it down by hour sometimes. We can determine which days of the week are the slowest, which are the busiest, which months seem to have more and which seem to have less. We can determine how many people go on our databases per month. We add it all up through the year, and we submit it to the Connecticut State Library. They require us to keep a statistical report. That way they can track usage throughout the state, and they've been able to help us share resources more efficiently.
Okay. It would just be something interesting. How many people physically visit the library? How many participate in some of these online services that you provide? Children's programs, which is the most popular? Children programming or adult programs?
It's children's programming, which is the norm in most libraries. People are looking to turn their children on to reading very early, and that's why they come in. And it's also a great gathering space. It's a great community for young parents who are looking for something to do and to be with other parents.
I spent a lot of time there many years ago with the children, and the summer reading program,
Yes.
that was always lots of fun.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Those statistics I can email you to the council, just so you have them on hand. Like I said, I don't have them at my fingertips right now, but it's easy to pull up, so you should get those tomorrow.
Great, thank you very much.
And thank you.
Any other questions or comments for Trish? No? Thanks again.
Thank you.
I would only add that I do a lot of reading and getting books out of the library. And it's very easy. It's very easy to go online and to request a book online. You don't have to go to the library and browse it. And our library is connected with, about 29 other libraries. So if the book isn't in the Plainville library through this system that you order, if the book is available in one of the 28 other libraries, that book will show up in Plainville, and they will contact you via your email, and they'll tell you your book's available for pickup. And and then you show up and they hand you your book, and It may be from Simsbury, it could be from Berlin, Southington, and you have your normal time to read it, and if you need to renew it, you can renew it online as well. So it's a very, especially with popular books, it's not a hit or a miss necessarily. So I find it very convenient and saves a lot of time.
Great.
More time you can spend on reading instead of browsing, I guess.
Thank you.
Though browsing's not all that bad either.
Thank you.
Sure. Another item I have is the Town Council March meeting schedule, always a very exciting part of the year. Town Manager's proposed budget will be presented to the Town Council at your next meeting, March 4th. A public hearing on the proposed fiscal year 20 budget is recommended to be held on Thursday, March 7th at 7 p.m. in the Town Council chambers, and there is an item under new business regarding that recommendation. Budget workshops are generally held the second and third week of March. These budget workshops are considered special meetings of the Town Council. There is an item under new business that would schedule these special meetings. Once the special meetings are established, town staff will make arrangements with Nutmeg TV. They have them recorded for citizen viewing, and all workshops are open to the public as well. So we gave you a list of potential dates. I don't know if you want to exclude some of them this evening or just have them all there and then if needed kind of thing. I guess if you know that there's dates that you aren't going to be around, you might want to just not.
Can we, look, I need to go through them personally and make sure I don't have any conflicts. Can we just leave it as, if we have a conflict, we'll get in touch with you and we can work around that?
Absolutely, yes.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Everybody all right with that?
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
All right, there is an item under new business, kind of doing the schedule, and then we can always cancel one if necessary.
Okay. Thanks.
Or maybe just schedule the first week and you do the second week and, March 4th, so however you want to do it.
Okay.
Next time I have the financial dashboard, that update for the period through January 31st will be presented by Scott Colby. The report has been posted on the town website, so with your permission, I'll just send it over to Scott for a brief review.
Looking at the expenditures through January 31st, the overall town budget's coming in at about 4.14% higher than the two-year average. So far, we've expended about 60.18% of the budget. As you recall, this is due to the health insurance fund switchover from the previous fiscal year. The general government budget's coming in at about 2.18% higher than the two-year average, while the Board of Education budget is coming in at about 5.80% higher than the two-year average. Looking at the hauler tonnages for solid waste, we're coming in at about 3,300. It's about 203 tons over. Moving on to police overtime. Right now, they've expended 91.15% of their budget. This is 12.34% higher than the two-year average. While the roadways department is coming in under the two-year average by about 12%, they've expended about 68.7% of their budget. The buildings and grounds overtime budget is coming in close to 4% less than the two-year average, but they are still over their budget by their expended amount by about 1,000. Looking at the roadways overtime snow budget, they've expended 43.01% of their budget. This is 16.63% less than the two-year average. And the buildings and grounds snow overtime budget's coming in at about 6.83% higher than their two-year average, or about 50% expended so far. Looking at the revenues, everything appears to be okay right here. All revenues are coming in at about 2.61% higher than the two-year average, or they've received 85.1% to date as of January 31st. And the current taxes they've received are 95.79%, and this is 2.53% higher than the two-year average. And the unassigned fund balance is sitting in about 14.4%. And moving on to the special funds, there haven't been many changes. Everything is around the two-year average. As you do see at the Robertson Airport budget expenditure, the expended amount is coming in at about 533%. And this is just due to the APIN project. There's about $400,000 sitting in accounts receivable that's just waiting to be transferred back in as a reimbursement from the project. Moving on to the major projects, there hasn't been much happening here as well, with the exception of the Wheeler School project. They did have a large pay rec that was approved by the Capital Projects Building Committee meeting, and this is in the amount of about $1.5 million. There will be some other pay recs that were approved by the Capital Projects Building Committee meeting, both for the Wheeler School project and the Phosphorus project, that will post for February's financial dashboard. And that's all I have to report on the dashboard. If there's any questions, I can take those. If not, I'll move on to the happenings. This evening I have happenings from the Senior Center on Tuesday, February 26th. They're going to be having an introduction to Overdrive. This is a free presentation that will be an introduction to one of the latest services being offered at the Plainville Public Library. Overdrive is an application that will allow you to download ebooks, audiobooks, and magazines to your phone and tablet. On Wednesday, February 27th at 10 a.m., they're having the Other Side of the River Walk. The Rails to Trails path along Route 4 in Avon is a favorite for many area walkers. But if you will want about the path on the other side, join them for a walking tour. And on Thursday, March 14th at 1 p.m., they're having a course on acid reflux, learn natural ways to prevent heartburn and medications that can improve stomach acid and things that could potentially make acid reflux worse. And on Friday, March 15th, they are beginning their Betty Bocas month of service, and that will run until April 15th. And that's all I have to report on.
Thank you, Scott. Does anybody have any questions for either Scott or Robert with their reports tonight?
I have one clarification. If you choose under second item under new business, if you choose to push that off to the next meeting, that's fine too, because the special meetings wouldn't be until the week after. So if you choose to wait to set the special meetings to the March 4th meeting, that would be okay.
Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you for that.
Being clear about that.
Okay, thanks. Okay. All right. Everybody's all set with Robert and Scott's reports. We'll move on to the public comment section of our meeting. During this portion of our meeting, we welcome the public to come to, I guess that microphone would be the best. The other one has kind of been moved around a little bit for our presentation. If you wish to speak to the council, please state your name and address. You'll have 3 minutes to speak to the council. I have one person that has signed up to do so, Catherine Labella. If you'd like to go first, then we'll take comments from the rest of the audience.
Before I get started, I just want to say I'm in the car a lot, and I really enjoy using my library card to download audiobooks using Libby, and I'm now going to check into Hoopla. So,
Great.
Thanks to tonight's presentation. Catherine Labella, 50 Pierce Street. I really didn't intend to talk tonight, but late in the day, there was a breaking news story that I think the council needs to hear about, another incident on the trail. I'll just read from the Cheshire Herald. The Cheshire-Farmington Canal Heritage Trail is closed while state and local police investigate an untimely death in the area. Shortly after 9:30 a.m. this morning, the Cheshire Police Department was called to investigate the trail between the area of Schoolhouse Road and West Johnson Avenue after calls were made to the department regarding suspicious items in the area, according to a release issued by the Cheshire Police Department. After a preliminary investigation was conducted, the State Police Major Crimes Division was called in to aid in the investigation of an untimely death. And as of 6 o'clock tonight, there was really no further information to give you. But we have now had major incidents. I'm not talking about vandalism at this point in time, but major incidents in Simsbury, Avon, Canton, Hampden, Cheshire, and now again in Cheshire. And I'm asking you please to take this into consideration regarding in relationship to your future votes. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to speak to the council tonight? Roberta?
Roberta Loria, 18 Perrin Road. For the benefit of Carol and the town council minutes this evening, I would like to say that I oppose any trail or alignment that will be on, next to, or have an impact on any neighborhoods in Plainville. especially Perrin Road where it will be inches from residents' backyard. At the last town council meeting, during the town manager's report, comments were made regarding the trail design meeting that had taken place the week before. During public comments, I had asked about this meeting, and Chairwoman Puglisi mentioned that someone would get back to me. I had not heard anything, so I sent an email to our Krog Trail representative. He forwarded my questions to the DOT representative, who very promptly and graciously got back to me. According to the attendance sheet, members of the DOT included Scott Bushy, I'm going to have to say 4.5 members, Vitaly Star-Overov, Matt Bloom, and Ahmed Kadim. I say 4.5 because Mark Jewell was there and considered himself part of the DOT and VHB, as well as town employees, some of which are here this evening. I do have a quick question regarding this meeting and thought maybe I could get some clarification. Mr. Lee, of the group that met, is this considered to be the team for the design, or are they coming to the town as needed for things?
Would you like to answer or wait until we have all questions at the end of public comment?
Whatever your pleasure is.
Do you have other questions that?
Well, the only other question I have is...
We can answer them all
Okay,
at one
thank you.
time.
Is there any, do you know if there's going to be the frequency of these, the meetings?
We're going to wait until, I'm sorry about that. We'll wait until you have all your comments and questions, and then I'm going to ask...
Those are the two questions I have.
Well, he can respond at the end of public comment section.
Okay.
Okay?
And I'd also like to piggyback on Mr. Lee's comments regarding the library. I frequent this library as well as other libraries in town. And they do a great job. When you're stuck on 84 as many times as I am, and as long as I am, I take quite a bit of effort using the CDs, books on CDs. My only suggestion to our new librarian is if you could please include the books on CD on the town website. That's not there unless it's changed. If you go onto the website and you select a certain library, many times they'll show you the books on CD. And that's helpful, especially because I use them frequently. I happen to notice in the past that isn't there. I know it's available because other libraries do have it. So if we could please include that on our website, that would be helpful. Thank you.
Okay. Does anybody else wish to speak to the council that has not done so? Mr. Edmund?
Edmund, Joel Edmund, 63 Library Lane. No rail, no trail, and no thank you. Why was Alex Trebek from the Propaganda Show Jeopardy standing up here opposing Alignment C or any other kind of trail alignment through our town of Plainville? I wonder if it might make a difference to shut down this elongated zigzagging trail gap closure idea and design by out-of-town people that will forever screw up our developed neighborhoods, roads, meaning Perrin Road, Pierce Street, Broad Street, Hemingway, Norton Park, wetlands, and especially Norton Park, and also another negatively impacting trail hookup to New Britain Fast Track. Like I previously stated before, it will be like the circus that never leaves town. Who here actually thinks that this trail gap closure through Plainville can help Plainville's and the state of Connecticut's economy moving forward? Other than expensively and negatively impacting constructing a 20-foot wide zone that supposedly will positively affect bicycle and pedestrian safety, the same can be said to disprove that, meaning providing a false sense of security pertaining to the tight spots, road crossings, falling tree limbs, and dark, lonely areas. That's the short list. The spending $20 to $40 million up front to possibly pump $1 million over a long time later on economic commercial activity makes sense? I don't think so. Better to spend the borrowed money on infrastructure, on roads, bridges, rail, and ports where there is a need, not a want, for a select few. Extending the zigzagging trail gap closure an extra 2.65 miles, they're only saying it's 84 miles, but actually it's almost 87 miles if they go through with alignment C. North to south through Plainville, plus developing a new trail west to east to New Britain Fast Track is ludicrous, despicable, and asinine. Redesigning Town Line Road now, after it has just been very nicely repaved, is also a point of contention, as well as Norton Park and Robert Jackson Way. Questions made, but not honestly or openly answered. No rail, no trail, and no thank you.
Perfectly timed. Thank you. Does anybody else wish to speak to the council that has not done so? Yes, sir?
David Albert, 56 Highbury Lane. When you're doing the budget, I'd ask you to maybe consider restoring Sunday hours for the library.
Yeah, that's a really good.
I mean, a lot of people use it. I know my wife loves it, so you'll help my marriage if you do it. Thank you. For the Board of Ed, what was the percentage increase?
It's 3%.
It is 3%.
Yes, 3%.
3%, okay. And is there any word on the new teacher's contract?
No.
No? Okay. Would that new teacher's contract impact this budget at all?
No.
No. Okay, it'll be...
No, it
yes.
will not.
Okay. And again, I ask, with that new teacher's contract, that there be some type of insurance passed down to the teachers. I think it's only fair. I mean, Scott just said it's like a 4.5% increase. I think it's unfair for the town of Plainville taxpayers to fund 100% of this insurance increase. And the trail that I like to call the I-84 for bikes, I see no reason why it should run through Norton Park. I stood here and I've said that I would use that bike trail. I just have a lot of problems with how it's going to ruin a lot of neighborhoods, and I honestly don't see what value running through Norton Park this trail is going to do. I mean, if you want to run it through so people can see the canal, are we going to do any improvements on the Farmington Canal? Are they going to put anything there? People going to ride through there? And I mean, if that's the intent, that's fine. But other than that, I see absolutely no reason why we should run it through the park. And again, has there been any thought about this 9 o'clock curfew in Norton Park? And what's going to happen with the bike trail? Are we going to allow people to go through on their bikes if it's 9:30 or 10 o'clock? But town residents can potentially get arrested if they're in there after 9? It makes no sense. Well, maybe it does. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is to that, but that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to speak to the council that has not done so? Okay. Anybody else? Last chance. Hi, Joanne.
Before you start, this seems to be very strung out. Carol, should I stand away from it?
No, it's good.
You're okay. Joanne Edmond, 166 West Main Street. I too am I strongly oppose this alignment C and any other alignment of the trail that impacts Huron Road, Pierce Street, Hemingway, Broad, into the park, and it just is not a good idea. Anything at all that that goes through town is, like my brother said, asinine. So I would say that what it bothers me is that you as a council have already voted on this, and you voted on it without asking the people. You didn't include us. And you know, there is a pyramid out there. The taxpayer is here, the town council is here, the town manager is here. He is your employee, our employee. But it looks as though he has dictated to you, the town council, that we must have this. And it has been determined that 69% of the people in Plainville do not want it. So that's quite a few. And I just see, it just seems to me that you guys aren't listening at all to the people. And you never say anything. You just...
Madam Chair, can I say something?
I think
Yeah, don't,
you could wait.
take that off my time. It's okay, let him talk.
Wait until she's
She
all done.
said I could
then you
talk.
can,
Yeah, he can talk.
This is the first
Don't
time
take
this
my
has
time,
happened.
though. I got 3 lousy minutes.
No, where do you get that 69? Sorry about that. Where do you get
It has come up, it has come up, it has been
Not that-
determined by an actuary.
No, where did you get it? I'd like to go look at it.
I believe Roberta has brought it up, right?
Yes.
There you go.
Okay, so there is a study out there.
Ask Roberta, she is the...
Okay, I'll follow up with you after.
Yeah,
Fine.
okay.
Thanks.
She had a whole, don't you remember, she had a whole chart of
Why don't we
broken
talk after
down,
your time is
you
up?
know?
We'll talk after.
Okay. So, it just, it goes on and on and on. We come up here every time you have a town council meeting, we beg you, please, listen to us. We do not want this trail. If you must have it, go down Northwest Drive and go down Route 10 right into Southington. That makes the most sense. It's marked already. It doesn't have to be, there doesn't have to be millions and millions of dollars spent gouging woodlands, interfering with people's backyards, front yards. It doesn't make any sense. And there's just so much money that's being spent, and I attended the Bolo meeting with the senator and the representative this morning, and the state of Connecticut is broke.
Okay,
We just owe
can you
so
wrap up your
much
comments?
money.
Joanne, thank you, but your time has expired. If you can wrap up your comments, I'd appreciate it.
Okay, all right, so
Thank you.
this millions of dollars could be spent much more wisely on other things. And really, you guys are the finance group up there, you must realize this. You know, stop with that you're all for the trail. For what? Somebody to come through our town and buy a piece of pizza or a bottle
Thank
of
you,
water?
Joanne. Your
It
time has
doesn't make any
expired.
sense.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to speak to the council that has not done so? Anybody else? Okay, thank you. I will close public comment. I'll ask Mr. Lee to answer some of those questions at the end of our meeting under other discussions of interest. We have no old business. On to our new business items. We have a few things to approve. May I have a motion on item number 1?
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Motion to establish a public hearing on Thursday, March 7th, 2019 at 7 o'clock in a municipal center to hear public comment on the town manager's proposed fiscal year 2020 budget.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Number 2, well, the town manager had said we could approve this at our March meeting, correct? So if it's all right with you, I need to check some of these dates. I have not done that. I apologize for not doing that before tonight, but I'll certainly have them most available for that time. So if we are not going to approve this, I would say we'll just skip over that.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Motion to approve the tax refunds is listed on the addendum.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any corrections to the, or any comments on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. That's it for our new business. Other discussions of interest. Mr. Lee, do you wish to provide some information?
Yeah, with regards to the design of the Farmington Canal Trail, that's being led by DOT, the Department of Transportation. We've been invited to provide representatives to that. I would say that the representatives from Plainville who were at the first meeting will probably be the ones that would continue on as we go through the design process. They do not have a meeting scheduled. They call them as they feel they're needed. So that's really all I have to say with regards to that. I would like to point out some inaccuracies with regards to other comments that were made. With respect to the health insurance, 4%, that's a cash flow issue. The only thing that was pointed out was that we pay more in advance during the year, so we're 4% ahead of what we spent in previous years, the same percentage. And so what that means is not that we're paying 4% more, it just means that we paid 4% more in advance than we have in the past. In the end, we end up where our budget was expected to be. So it's not expected to go over budget, it's expected actually to go under budget from what we had budgeted for the current fiscal year. And the second thing is the Farmington Canal Trail closes at dusk. So if you're on the trail after in the night, you can be, held accountable for that as well. So it closes at the same time pretty much as the park would close. So you're not allowed to be on the trail at night either, and that's going to have to be that's going to have to be enforced by the Plainville Police Department, and they're aware of that, as it's enforced in all other towns, up and down the 84-mile corridor that's there right now. So, that's all I have to add.
Thank you. Okay, that concludes our agenda. I need a motion to recess into executive session, please.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Motion to move into executive session for a land acquisition matter.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much.